Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Africa. Welcome back to your favorite podcast, Afri+CAN. So excited to have you here again. We took a little bit of a short break, but I'm sure you didn't miss us much because we had a lot of content for you. And we are really excited to continue talking about media, what is happening in the world of production, distribution, training, and all that. So we'll continue to cover that across Africa. But now today, I'm told this has to be kind of like a special edition. So my team, who are seated here with me by the names of Rogers, Mike, Nani Mwingine, Peter, and Meshach, who is seated here with me, they've said today they want to know a little bit more about who is Wangeci. So I'm going to stop talking now and hand over the mic to him. I don't know what he wants to know, but hey, let's see how it goes.
Okay, thank you so much, Wangeci. At first, we're thankful for your support. So, we have multiple questions that you've set aside because we want to know more about you, okay?
All right.
So, feel free, speak anything you want to tell us together with the people that are behind our screens, okay?
Okay.
So, we're starting at random. The first question, I believe you're supposed to get to know. Who are you? Who is Wangeci?
Like in brief.
Yeah, in brief.
In my 44 years of life.
Yeah, definitely. You're just telling us, like, okay, who's Wangeci?
Okay. In a nutshell,
Yep.
Wangeci is, first of all, a mother
Wow.
of two. My eldest is 21, my youngest is 19. Yes, I know I look young. Thank you very much.
Definitely. So you know the comments like okay?
Yes, I've been
Fine.
told that before. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I've got a slight cough today, so
Okay,
please
it's okay,
excuse
yeah.
me.
It's okay.
And I'm a media practitioner when it comes to my professional life. I have been in media for 24 years now, going 25. So if you add it up, 24 plus whatever, that makes me 44 because I started when I was 19. Let me see what else. I love having fun.
Definitely.
I love meeting new people, where we share, similar interests, so to speak. And what else about Wangeci? I have lived in Nairobi all my life, born and raised. But I've been fortunate enough to work with organizations that at least have allowed me to travel, especially within Africa. And that's why I'm very passionate about this podcast, and hence the name Afri+CAN, because of what I have experienced in different African communities. So that is Wangeci.
Okay, that's so nice. From me, I've heard a lot from you from the first question that you've given. If you may allow me to touch on to the part that you've mentioned, you have a family of 2 kids.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about your family? Maybe you've not told us. Maybe you're the last born at your family. You know, last borns are chicken quotes. So you can tell us more about you.
Are you hinting at something? But
No,
anyway,
I'm not
I am
hinting.
actually
know,
the
I'm
last
very, very
born.
sorry. You definitely got you. Okay, you tell us.
But yes, like I said, I was born 44 years ago. And I have 3 older brothers.
Wow.
Yes, they've been quite an inspiration to me, and I've learnt a lot from them. And some of them, we've been able to also even interact even in our professions. So that's basically my background. Mother, father, 3 older brothers, and then there's me. I am not, what's that word that you used?
Cheeky.
Stubborn.
Yeah.
Maybe a little cheeky.
Definitely you are.
Very stubborn.
Okay.
I'm a little bit impatient. I think you know this.
Badly. Well understand that one.
But it's something I know, I'm not perfect. I do have flaws, but every day I try to work on it, especially when people point it out, because at times, you don't really realize that maybe you're doing something wrong, or doing something right, because it can also be a compliment. So every day I take it with a pinch of salt, whatever comes my way, whether it's good or bad, and then I learn, because every moment, every day is a learning experience, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
that's my background. Unfortunately, my grandparents on both sides, my mom's and my dad's, are no longer with us.
sorry.
It's life. They lived a very happy life. They raised their children very well, so we are very grateful to have had them in our lives, even if it was for a short period. Well, especially for me, being the last born, so I was very young when I started losing them. But they've left a wealth of knowledge, some land.
Investment.
Exactly. So we are just now trying to figure out how to get a hold of those title deeds. Anyway, I'm kidding.
So I'm getting back to you.
Yeah.
You've mentioned something about you having 3 brothers, elder brothers, and then you're the last born here. So can you get to tell me more about your childhood? Because you're now the baby girl here in the family. Now you're trying to survive and struggle and staying in between the other brothers, since you have no sister in here. So you can maybe touch on to telling us, okay, this the sort of my childhood. I used to do this and this used to be me.
Okay, now growing up as the only girl with boys in the family, you can only imagine that I had to be a tomboy.
Bad.
Too
bad.
But I had the most amazing time. I would climb up to the roof to fix the aerial, for example. I wouldn't have to wait for my brothers to do that. I would be the person who's jumping onto matatus. I actually kanged once. Is that the right word?
No.
What's the right word? To kange. I was a makanga.
Yes. For the word that we have now at the moment, there is that kamagera. Maybe you're enjoying. You getting?
Okay, kamagera. So I did that. You see that's how much of a tomboy.
The sitting in front of me did kamagera.
Are you there?
The Wangeci that is in front of me just did that kamagera.
Yeah, because I was very free spirited. My parents also just gave me, freedom to just be me.
Wow.
Of course, there was discipline still. I couldn't just get away with everything. But what they didn't know, maybe they know now, was I was a kamagera at some point. And the funny thing is, I was in primary school in my uniform.
Doing kamagera.
I used to insist, and there were this popular matatus, just the way they are now.
Yeah.
One was called Spice Girls, of course, after I think the band. And the other one was called, I'm forgetting that name. But those two were very, very popular with kids our age. So we used to interact with the driver, with the makanga at the time. And so once in a while, I would just ask, randomly, can I, whatever, chapa this carrot, nini. And he would be so excited. And he'd just say, enda. It's circular or whatever. Squad. Yes,
squad. You're having a squad. Eh?
Yes.
Wow.
So I'll just dress down a little bit from my uniform, just so that it also doesn't look like a uniform. There are times during the weekend when I was in home clothes, I would also do it as well. And I'd collect the chums and I give them to the driver. He'd give me maybe a tip here and there, but mostly the tip was, okay, pandai matatu, you don't pay. So that was like my tip.
It was some sort of fun for you.
So that was me. As a child, quite a little bit naughty, not too naughty, but also very cautious about life, about people. So, like I said, I love making friends, but it takes me time a little bit also to kind of like trust you to bring you into my circle. Where I can share with you information and all that. So those are things, again, like I said, I'm working on, but I'm very comfortable with the person that I am today.
Touching on to what you're saying, I'd like to know about maybe your origin. That you've said something about your childhood. Where is your background lying? okay, you hear of people, artists coming from such and such a place who just want you to touch on you. Maybe your background, maybe someone else can get inspired from the same area, or someone in a different kind of area.
Background meaning like how I got into media, or just
No, just background, like you coming from such and such an area, such and such a place. Okay.
I am a K-South girl.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where I grew up for better part of my life, I think, until I was 12. Was I 12? Thereabouts, yes, I was 12. Because at that time, my parents separated. So I moved to Kahawa West. It's life, man. I moved to Kahawa West with my mom, and my dad remained with my brothers. Then I lived in Kahawa West until just after high school, because I was fortunate enough to start working, to get a job when I was 19, like I said, so I was still very young. So I just finished high school, and then, uko katikati, as you're waiting to be called to campus, if at all, you have passed. Fortunately enough, I was called to campus, Kenyatta University. And but it was for, just guess what kind of degree you think maybe I was called for.
Education.
Why I look like a teacher?
Yeah, definitely a principal.
But I am actually a trainer. That's true.
I got you.
No, but being a tomboy, and then you put me in a home economics class. Apana. I was like, I attended only one semester. My mom had actually left. She was touring the US and all that at the time. But she left when she had paid school fees for the whole year. So I attended the first semester. But a semester is like how many days? Maybe like 90 or whatever.
Definitely. Others go
thereabouts, yeah? I think I attended 9 classes.
Jesus Christ.
From all that.
Why?
Because my heart was not into it. I was not interested in doing home economics. And then in clothing and textile. Woo-wee. And I'm the worst person who knows, to dress. Even leo nimejaribu kidogo. I've tried. Thank you very much. Yep. So it just wasn't my calling. I didn't like it. So I quit. So as I was waiting to re-enroll in another degree. So I really wanted to do computer science, but unfortunately I didn't get in. So I only had environmental science. I think that was available.
Yes.
So I said, it's okay. Environmental science is better than home econ. But I had to wait for the next year to join with the other, kids who are leaving high school and all that. But before that happened, while I was waiting, then I joined theater. The Phoenix Players Theater. Very interesting group. And the funny story is, I was in drama club while in high school.
Yes.
But I didn't really have that interest so much, to be in theater. So a friend of mine told me, take me for auditions. The audition's happening. I don't want to go alone. You can support me, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, well, I'm not doing anything. So, sawa, twende tao. So I took her. And while I was there, the director asked me, why don't you just audition? I mean, what you got to lose? It's not like you're paying for the audition or anything. It was a musical. Jack and the Beanstalk, I think it was called, or something. So I said, okay, sawa, I'll audition. I auditioned together with my friend. She was interested in getting in. I wasn't. I was picked. She wasn't. I was like,
good or too bad for one.
Exactly. No, but she's doing amazingly well in her life right now. So I guess, at times, you just, there's some things that are beyond your control.
Yeah.
You don't know what is in the future for you. So anyway, theater, so I'll do a couple of productions here and there. And that's where I met a lot of media people, the likes of Jimmy Gathu, the late Lona Irungu, James Falkland, George Mugai, a lot of people who are already in the media. And so I would always ask for akajobo, nipate kibarua too, even if it's as a tea lady. Yes, to do something to keep me busy.
Yeah.
And so one day, Jimmy, there used to be, KTN used to be at Nyayo House then.
Yeah.
And my mother had a shop on the ground floor. So she also knew them and they knew her. And so one time, Jimmy then tells my mom, hey, I've seen a job ad at the Nation. Nation Media Group was opening a broadcasting division then.
Yeah.
That's TV and radio. And they were looking for, professionals or even trainees, who can come in for whatever. So he gave my mom the ad. My mom brought the ad to me. The deadline was like tomorrow, the day after, for me to submit my resume and everything. And I made it. I just sat on it and worked through it. And that's how I got into media. I went for the interview. I guess me na mdomo yangu, they were like, bas, huyu kona mdomo hivi huyu ndio wa radio.
Huyu sasa ndio wenyewe.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's how I got in and been there. In different capacities, of course.
That's a good journey for you from the start, from there, here and there. You've basically touched onto something, onto your education, but you have not been so clear, like I was in this such and such a school. Maybe there's someone behind you watching over.
Now let me see. You want me to start from nursery? Okay,
No,
nursery
you can
was
tell us.
St. Joseph, I think. It was in Buru.
Yeah.
Primary, I moved around a lot. I started, of course, at K-South.
Yes.
Then my mom moved me to Consolata. She wanted me also to, be in a Catholic school and all that. Oh, and my dad as well, who's a staunch Catholic. Then around that time, this was like standard 5, my brothers were moving out of the house, going into high school. They were boarding and all that. So I felt lonely alone in the house. I'm like, niko peke yangu, why? So I begged my mom, please take me to boarding. Yes. So she took me to Nyeri Primary. Hey. That's when I was like, wait, it's not as glamorous as I thought it was.
Definitely.
So after a year, I went back and started crying. Oh, please take me out.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So again, because of the lack of interest, and I think now here is where I deliberately got myself kicked out. Yes, I was suspended from school because I skived, me and a friend of mine, we went partying in Nyeri town. So we were kicked out, or rather we were suspended.
Yeah.
So during that time is when I kind of like twisted my mom's arm and told her, I don't like that school. You see the way they're treating me. They're even sending me home for nothing.
The last one of the family knows to cry again.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, crocodile tears. So then my mom found a school for me. Fortunately, there was an opening at Mountain View. This was in Casa.
Yeah.
That's when I used to do the whole Kamagwara, you call it what?
Kamagera,
yes. That's when it began. After that, I was fortunate enough to join Limuru Girls School. Although I have to be honest, it's not like I passed very well, but my grades weren't too shabby. I think I got a 475 out of 700 then. At my time, it was 700. Got a 475. That's not bad.
That's not.
See, it's slightly above average.
You tried something.
E for effort.
E for effort.
So, but the thing is, Limuru Girls being a national school, you couldn't get in with those grades, with the grades that I had.
Yeah.
So again, my mama kacheza hivi nini.
Cheza poker.
Yeah, because I'm being called to Ngara High School. Which, by the way, I really, really wanted to go because it was a day school and I'd be going home every now and again. She said, Z, you're not staying here in Nairobi, unaenda. So for 4 years, I was at Limuru Girls, made very, very good friends that I'm still tight with even today. We have a group we call ourselves the Sisters or the Starlets. They're very, very close to me, very dear to my heart. And then after high school is, like I've explained, is when as I was waiting to join campus, I joined for 1 semester, quit, then started working. But after some time, I realized I still need papers, degrees and all that if I wanted to advance in my career and all that.
Yeah.
So I put myself through, is it called undergraduate school or whatever, for a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
I actually took out a loan and I paid for it and I attended the classes and I passed and we graduated, only to be told months after that the degree that we got was fake.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Imagine.
Ulianza kuosha kitambo hivyo?
Imagine bana. Yes, it was fake. And I don't know, I think I really trusted in that school that, I didn't even bother to find out whether, it's accredited and all that, because even some of the people that I was attending the school with were like my bosses. So I'm like, of course, they would know better. So I never doubted or questioned anything. So after is when now, after being told it was fake, I was like, what I kai? What I kai, for that is the way the situation as it is. But then I kept getting, curious about just having a degree. I didn't want to just be a high school diploma holder, or certificate or whatever they call it. So I then, but it took me some time before I went back to do my degree. Now, here's the fortunate thing. Now, because I had already been in media for quite some time, because I was allowed to join to join a school. It's called University of Cumbria. It had both online and residency classes to pursue a master's degree, not even a bachelor's, because of the experience, that I had, and I did interviews and all that, and I passed, and they said, okay, let's do this. But now that was for 4 years instead of 2, as it would be maybe with, like with a master's. So I enrolled in that. I graduated, I think in 2019 is when I finally got my degree. And after that, I said, I ain't going back to school no more. Those 4 years were so hard because there are babies involved, there is work involved, and then you still have to study. It was not easy for me. That's when I realized masomo was not for me.
Si kila mtu.
Si kila mtu bana.
So even parents do get that right. Masomo kidogo.
Yeah,
kidogo.
I think it gets to a point you're like, I was not cut out for this, which is, and the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, because my son is like me kabisa. Aliniambia at form 2, nimechoka.
Wow.
I'm tired. I know what I want to do. So kwa nini nimalize shule? Told him, at least you get to high school, a diploma or something. And he did. He listened, and after that, because of course I told him, I promise I'll support you in whatever it is that you want to pursue. He listened, he finished, and he said he already knew he wanted to get into animation from Kitambu, because he had already started drawing, art and craft things and all that, blah, blah, blah. So the minute he finished like this, he enrolled at ADMI and got his certificate. Now he's pursuing his degree.
Yeah.
We're still looking for a school. But masomo pia yeye ilimkata. Yeye alikata. But my daughter, on the other hand, now she's the opposite. Yeye anapenda kusoma sana.
That's
too much.
That's balancing the world,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a new story from the word go. There is Wangeci. Now you're done with your school. So literally, now you're in the media, content in the world. Yes. Now you're here.
Yeah.
As a figure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you tell us what you're doing? What you do?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, currently, I am. I run a company called Media Pros Africa. Mm-hmm. Media Pros Africa was set up as a consultancy firm, which it still is. So what we do is we develop content strategies in different aspects, different fields of media. So it could be in content production, it could be in distribution, marketing, even channel development. You want to set up a channel, hey, talk to us, we'll take you from A to Z of what it is that is required, of course, and all that, business plans come into play and all that. I've also started training. Once in a while, I would be invited to a school, to just give a 2 or 3 day workshop or lecture mainly on distribution, because that has kind of like been the strongest pillar right now for the company. So we aggregate content and then we distribute it to different platforms, whether it's pay television, video on demand, even some to film festivals, just for that exposure. And and other platforms, even content markets. So that is what is keeping us going right now. But I really, really would like to get stronger on production. Maybe this is why I decided let's start this podcast, because when I used to do content production at Free to Air, mainly, no, not only Free to Air, actually from the time I started at NTV, where I had a show called Showbiz, and then moved on to KTN, and also took up some new shows, and then moved on to Mnet as the commissioning editor, or rather regional manager, but I had to oversee production even if I wasn't hands-on, and the same at Wangeci Group. So I've always had that passion for production, and maybe that's also one of the reasons as to why I love judging films. So I'm always asking people, please invite me to your jury, select me, here are my credentials and all that. So I've done that quite a bit. So I'd really like to focus on building the production arm of the business, because marketing and distribution seem kind of a little bit settled, and I'm working with a very wonderful team who also have learned through the ropes as well. We were not born distributors. It just happened to land, on the table, and this is what is paying. So you said, and see how we can be able to grow that more. And of course, I'd like to continue to do much more training. I love sharing information. I just, especially to young people, not so much corporate people in my whatever, but I do also train in corporates. But I just love, talking to young people.
Okay. From that point, we're the young generation. Okay.
Yes.
So our generation has two sides. We either we are optimistic or pessimistic.
Yeah.
We have to stand on one.
There's no gray area.
Yeah, there's no gray area in between.
Yeah.
So like there's that person behind the scenes, that this person is like, why should I get myself to content production and media stuff? So like, why? What is this that you're seeing good in it? Like you're feeling like this is where I'm supposed to be for you. Like there's that pessimistic person that is like, no, that's not it.
Yeah.
Me, I want to be something different other than what she is.
Yeah.
Of which it's not, maybe it's not that clear at the moment, but it's like, for me, kidogo nikisema ni media content distribution, hapo ndakuwa nimejicheza.
I think that the thing I would say is, like I told you, the story of my son.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he wanted to do. So I think for me the thing is, first of all, you have to be passionate about what it is you would like to do, because if you're not passionate about it, if you don't feel it, then chances are you will still keep looking for that thing that you want to do over and over again. And while you're doing that, time's going, so eventually it does take some time, of course, at times, to get something, to achieve something, but it also requires a lot of patience. But on top of that, it requires passion, because if you're not passionate about something, you will give up, won't you?
Definitely.
Yeah, you'll say, yeah. So I wouldn't exactly say it's about being a pessimist or an optimist. It's really just about finding your footing. And you can find it from many, many places. It can be in school, maybe influence from teachers or guidance. It can be in church. It can be at a work area. There are many people who I know have actually transferred from one job to another. Mpaka you wonder, this guy, like the way you started saying, I'm a teacher. This guy was a teacher, like a designing architect or something like that, or something that are professions that are completely opposite. Like the banker who's a DJ.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, he followed his passion. He didn't quit banking, though. Because DJ is not very easy to also, but I don't know whether he eventually left banking completely to pursue DJing, but yeah, it happens, and he did that because he was passionate about being a DJ. So for young people, is just find out what you're passionate about, and at times it will take time. Maybe it will be, at times it can come to you in your earlier years. Maybe you're still a teenager or even a young teenager. At times it could come to you when you're in your mid-20s. Others maybe even in their 30s, and all that. So even for me, it did take time. It's only that my career projection has been in the same line, in the same field. It's just been up and down, hapa na pale, but still within media. So when I decided to set up Media Pros Africa, I knew that I definitely still want to remain
within this field that you're mentioning, from what you're doing, from the good you're seeing in it. May I get to know more of the challenges you face and the others of your caliber? People that you're doing the same thing, or people you're finding some different sources, like you're learning from others that are on top, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so like what challenges do you face individually and for your group, maybe for us that we're working with you together to make things out here clearly, at least to get to understand one another better, because the challenges that you're facing, maybe you've never mentioned to us as a group. So today we want to know the challenges.
I think you know some of it.
Okay.
But I think for me, first of all, the biggest challenge was capital. Because when I left my job, or rather was asked to ceremoniously just leave.
Violence.
Violence. I'm telling you.
That's violence.
And at that point is when I set it up. But in a way, like I said, things happen in life that you're not in control of. But I had always wanted to set up my own operation. But I was too scared to take the risk.
Definitely.
Yeah, so when I was told out Naja, I was like, "Bas, this is what I need to do." But now also, at the time, like I said, I was in school. I had just started actually my master's. So my fee was going there, most of it. So setting up the business was not easy because of capital. But I partnered with a colleague of mine then, and we decided, who was also in a similar situation than me, and we decided, let's just do this. Whatever little we have, let's just get started. And we did. And our first, I think, year and a half, business was good.
Wow.
It was very good. I think we just all went in full throttle, with our heart, with everything that we had, the conviction. The energy level. Yes, that's right. So it was very, very good. But as you know, in business or in life, things are here, and then tomorrow they are here.
Manchester.
And then, yes.
And that's
then they plateau.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a football fan, so I wouldn't know about that. But so after the first year and a half, second year, it got really tight. And she got another job. Me, I was also there now wondering, now what do I do? But now. And then I also got an opportunity to go back into employment. But I did that just because I really needed a salary, mainly. I needed to be financially stable. But that is the worst mistake I ever did. Because my mindset had completely changed, from employee to employer, and stuff like that, or entrepreneur, or whatever you want. So I found myself constantly challenged as to whether I was actually, if my heart was really in it. And then, of course, the environment was also not very conducive. So that was a challenge, just trying to navigate with, again, some pessimists, as you say, or some tough management and staff as well. And so my heart was not in it. So that's why I told you when I was told to now just leave, I think they saw it. You're not here. And that's when I picked up Media Pros again and said, this time now, by hook or crook, I'm doing this. I am moving. I am doing this. So it was also not very easy because remember, I still now again had to start raising capital. I had to start looking for a team because when I got back into employment, I did nothing for like those 2 years. So I felt I kind of started from scratch, really. I had to rebuild my network because I would, like I said earlier, I would travel a lot. I would interact with a lot of people from Africa, but because this was purely in Kenya, there wasn't really much of that happening. So it took time, and it still, I'm not saying I'm there yet, but I'm definitely at a better place than where I was before, and constantly I'm challenging myself to even get better. So those are some of the challenges. There are some jobs that come through. I have to weigh whether it's really worth it or whether it's not. And not just because of money. There's so many clients that I've had where I've worked pro bono. In fact, when it comes to distribution, we don't get a retainer or anything. It really depends on how much we sell, because we are paid on commission. So it's not that easy. So we have to be very aggressive to make sure that we, the sales are high, and just be able to maintain the relationships and build even new strategic relationships. So there's some jobs that will come with a big fat paycheck, like one I have just left a week ago actually. And so I told my friends, my sisters, and they could not believe it. They're like, "What is wrong with you? You could have used that to build your company and all that." But again, I've once bitten, twice shy. When I went back 2 years ago, I was chasing money. Now I'm not chasing money. Money is good, don't get me wrong, but I'm following my dream, my passion. So whether this takes me 10 years, 15 years, I would love to grow Media Pros to one of the big conglomerates or something, and people will be talking about me 20, 30 years from now and saying, "Hey, Wangeci, do you see where she started from?" I would love to definitely influence people positively as to taking a risk and taking those challenges also, and celebrating small wins.
That's great. That's nice from you. Okay. If I can have that part, the last one I've asked of the challenges you and your fellas do face in this industry, you have those possible solutions. You first said about the capital. So are there places or government lending institutions that maybe you can get some sort of help or support to get into the industry with full energy, full power, and then you keep pushing, or you have to start from the scratch? I have to build again, go find some cash, sell some, go to Rakau somewhere to buy a camera, and for me to get to the industry. No, can you just give some guidelines onto it?
There are
possible solutions.
Yes,
okay, I'm listening.
There are funding institutions, especially the non-governmental organizations, who are looking at maybe content production or producing. NGOs usually do content or produce content that has social impact, so they can fund that, or you can even pitch to them, and they will fund it for you. I'm not going to mention names right now. But there are also what I would call friends, who maybe also believe in your vision and would want to have a stake in it.
Yes.
There are also training institutions, schools as well, where you can be able to, where they can support, especially their graduates, people from their school. There are some institutions that support, their endeavors when it comes to that. But I would say, even the government, the government also does have some pockets here and there. I'm sure you've heard of Talanta Hela. I don't have much information about that. I'm actually seeking more information. But you see, that's a funding opportunity, for people who want to enter into this field, or maybe even any other field. But those are the ones that I know, especially in media. And also international organizations. There's some also that, that fund. You also online. I don't know if you've heard of this GoFundMe.
Not yet, really.
No? Yeah, so there are some online whatevers where you can go, you submit your concept and stuff like that. I think there's GoFundMe, there's another one, I forget the name now, and it was very popular then. So, so opportunities are there, but you have to seek them. You can't sit and say, "Sina do, so I ain't gonna do nothing."
Since you've already started from scratch, now you're at a particular lane. Okay, can I get to know of, in future, what's your aim? What are you there to achieve? Like what keeps you moving for such a person like you to be in the same position, to stand in the industry, not thinking of maybe I should I can switch to this. You've said from a banker to a DJ. Have you even thought of from being a doctor to a patient?
Myself.
No, have you seen of such a scenario from a person who was maybe he was the pilot, but now he's the passenger?
Yes.
A driver that is now paying fare elsewhere.
Yeah.
So have you, like, people do switch lanes together. You get it?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking, like, what's your aim in future with your industry, with the team, the gang?
Like I said, I would really love for Media Pros Africa to become bigger, to grow. Why? Because I want to help people like you.
Thank you.
You know, who are coming up. Well, I'm also helping myself.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to at least provide an opportunity or a position whereby young people and old, even established, where I can be able to assist them, even if it's not financially. It could be even with advice. It could be on a completely different level. Like I said, we develop content strategies or media strategies.
Yes.
So we can also assist with that. So that is really where I would want to see Media Pros Africa get to, where people will be saying,
so that's
yes.
the target you're targeting. You're targeting, like, you want to be there to address some sort of a growth. Some
growth, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you have a great concept, Meshach, for example,
yes.
and I feel it,
Yeah.
you know, why shouldn't I be in a position to fund you, to support you, so that you can at least get it started? It may not be at 100%, but at least I can contribute something. Okay. Or maybe, like I said, it doesn't have to be financial. You can come and ask me, how do you, by the way, get from here to here? You know, what do I need and all that? And you'll be surprised, there are a lot of people, there is no question that is too small. There are a lot of people who don't even know how to write what a business plan is even big, or even to draw up a budget, let's say. And this is something we do every day, even in your own head right now. Najua umesha calculate sasa fare.
Definitely, there's a lot. But Wangeci, you know, the challenges out here. Like, for instance, you're sitting for an exam paper, and then the first question you're saying it's 1 + 1. Then aside it's written 20 marks.
Yes.
Are you gonna slide into it and write 2?
No,
Will you?
write 11.
No, you're supposed to think much deeper. You get it?
That's what I'm saying. I'll write 11.
That's when you're supposed to use your brains fully.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for me, Wangeci, I'm thinking like, oh, there are youngsters coming, so I think like I have this. This is my goal.
Yeah.
This is my target
even myself,
group.
like
this
I've
is my
said.
target group.
Yeah.
Because you still have someone looking at you and then, this is my role model. Do you know of someone that looks at you and then she's like, no, this is my role
Maybe
model.
just my kids.
Maybe your kids. And others like me out here.
And you now, yes, yeah. Thank you.
So you have a target group.
Yeah.
That you're giving.
A specific target group?
Yeah.
No. I have specific skills and knowledge that I can impart, not a target group. That's why I said it can be a young person who's upcoming. It can also be an established person. Also, don't forget, I'm also still trying to build myself. Right? Like I said, I would really like to get into production, you know, start doing a little bit more of that. And you start kidogo. You say, like with this podcast.
Yes.
You know, si tumeanza mdogo.
Mdogo.
In a year, I would want us to look back and say, wow, we started from an audience of 0, but now we've got 1 million.
Yeah.
You know, views or subscribers. Yeah. So that is what I would like to do. I would like to start projects that have growth and are sustainable. Because that is the only way I think that we can be able to be focused on what it is that we want to do, rather than jumping from one to the other, like you're saying, doctor, patient, banker, DJ, nini, and all that. So for me, that is what I really would like to do. I'd like to open my door, my home, anything to anybody who wants to come and seek advice, look for financial assistance, get network, you know, training as well. Like I said, I would also like to do a little bit more training, especially to the upcoming, you know, artists.
And to that point of financial assistance, I think I'll be knocking at your door 24/7 now. I know
for
the
financial
right
assistance.
I know the right place. The financial assistance part, I capture it. So you're speaking of growth and building something together.
Yes.
Something must have built you. what's the best advice you ever got into your life and you felt like, you know what, this is my lifetime change now. It's my turnover. So what is this advice that you got from somewhere or some source somewhere, and then you felt like, today is the real deal? Hii inasema ati mtaka cha mvunguni.
Sharti iname.
So you know it's
I got an A in Kiswahili, man.
Same. Oh.
But can you even speak
lakini unajua yako ni ya kitambo.
Yako ni ya kitambo na yangu ilikuwa sanifu. Yako ni ile ya mtaa.
Hapana, Kiswahili mufti. Yako ni sanifu, yetu ni mufti.
Okay,
give me that advice. I want to hear what you got from other places.
I think it's the people that I've interacted with during my lifetime, even from childhood, you know. Like I said, my parents were they gave me the freedom to pursue my dreams and what it is that I want to do, but also very controlled, because you still had to pass your exams and all that.
Okay.
And then of course my extended family, my brothers rather, my cousins and all that were also there to support me with a lot of advice, with books when I needed books, and all that. And then now getting into my career, my peers, whether we joined together or whether they had been in the industry for 5 or 6 years, were also there, ready to support me with advice or even support to get to hone my craft, to hone my skills. Because remember, I joined media as a radio trainee.
Yeah.
I knew jack shit about radio. But like I said, they took me because niko na mdomo kubwa sana. And my mouth helped. At least to get me and keep me in media.
Yes.
But it wasn't easy still, because it wasn't just all about talking.
Yeah.
It was also about listening, and seeing how you can be able to, guide other people also within the industry. So I took a lot of advice. I listened a lot. I questioned a lot.
And I'm waiting for that best advice, the best ever.
I don't know if I can say that there's a best advice that I've received, because it's all come from different sources. My mentors that I respect a lot, there's a lady called Joki Mohoho.
Yeah.
She's one of my mentors, and she is always ready to advise me on stuff. There's my uncle, he's called James S. Mathenge. He's retired now, he was in the government. He's also always there ready to assist me with advice. There's my brothers, like I've said, there's my mother, all advice about different things here and there. Even my children as well, at times I would go to them and ask them something about life, even. So I can't really pinpoint that there's a best advice, but like I mentioned earlier, the one thing that I took away is, one, you have to be passionate about what you're doing. So it's not always just about the money, but money is good. 2, you have to keep the right company. So I remember also when I was growing up and all that, I really wanted to have many friends around me.
Yeah.
But now I'm fine with 3 or 2 that I can trust. But in our sisterhood group, we're 8.
You're almost getting to be a loner, like sort of a human being.
Because I've also realized, and this is also another piece of advice, that time is precious.
Time is money.
Time is money, time is precious. Yes, yeah. So I would rather spend 2 hours seeking advice with people who are positive minded, than spend time with 20 people who will just either be very negative around you.
Yes.
Maybe, and most of the times, of course, when we used to partying, I was a party person, and I would spend a lot of money. The following day you wake up, you're like, yes, exactly. And I hate loans. I think I hate taking loans unless it's absolutely necessary, like for school, like I said earlier. So I've been receiving those pieces, gems, of advice from different sources, which at times it's not, and you don't have to take everything in. For me, I take what works for me. It doesn't have to be everything. But those principles and everything have really helped me in what it is that I do right now. And I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm there yet.
Yeah.
It's a learning process. But I have very good mentors and advisors, and I thank them so much for seeing me through.
Okay, on to your part of advice. If you would have gotten a chance of your among your wish list, you're given a chance to give a change in the industry onto this world, onto our country, what change would you have brought?
Change
Yes, change.
in the media industry.
Just it's a one-time chance. Maybe in the coming 24 hours, you can take over anything you're feeling like you want to bring a change to. So what change would you have brought to our country, to our world, to wherever?
I don't know if I would call it change, but rather an adjustment.
Yes, adjust.
Like I said, I'm a strong believer in growth, development, sustainability, and all that. And I know it doesn't take a day.
Yes.
So I think I would definitely institute or have more institutions of learning.
Yes.
At different levels.
Yeah.
Especially vocational. I'm a strong believer, like I said, of it's not a degree that gets you where you want to go. Not only a degree, basically. It's also experience. It's also street smarts. I remember there used to be The Apprentice. Yes, that's the show with Donald Trump, where he would pick book smarts and street smarts, and he would give them these challenges and tasks, and the street smarts would actually compete very effectively, and they would win even some of those tasks. So for me, I think it's I would like to equip people, and that's why training for me is key. Equip people with the knowledge that they need to know. Especially if I have something to impart, I would be happy to do that. If I had money, I'd be happy to also support you. Yeah, so don't see me after this.
It's necessary for us to meet up.
Yeah. So for me, I would. So it doesn't have to be formal training.
Yes.
Even informal, I would like to create that in different areas, especially starting with Kenya, because this is my home. I'd like to build the talent, that I see, because every day. Look at like you, and everybody who is seated here with us, everybody here has their own God-given talent.
Definitely.
So I would like to also help to support that and nurture that.
So today we are asking for a particular funny question. If you asked to pick a nickname,
I got one.
Which is?
Kesh.
Kesh. That's not even slapping. Ouch. Yeah. So, like,
it's the short of my name, but
we're asking like, okay, you have this nickname that you feel like, wow, hii nishaitwa nikiwa mtoto ikakuwa inanikeep na ka spirit flani. You know of that name, like Baba Kuja, then the kid is there running. Yeah, you getting? So what nickname will you have picked?
Sonko.
Now I have to see you after this now. You getting? So
it comes to you. You have to say it, put it out there so that it can come exactly. Sonko. Yes.
Okay.
It's not a female or male name.
Sonko.
So yes.
Pewa sport kwa Olympics. Pewa chance leo kuparticipate in Olympics. Tupatie sport yenye unge participate. Na mbona hiyo sport?
Oh my goodness.
We're going for this. Tell me you keep jogging. Tell me.
Sport. But I would love to do rugby.
Funny. Never. It's never.
I promise. I told you.
What rugby are you talking about?
See rugby like with a scrum down and nini. Allah.
Wangeci, you can run.
See, I will learn.
There's no learning. If you can't run, then kwani rugby ni kusimama.
But you asked if I was given. You didn't say what I can do.
In Olympics, given a chance to participate in sports, you can do rugby.
Yes.
I'll
train. Absolutely. Yes. I'm rough.
Okay. So
I am.
You're rough.
Don't let this fool you.
I'm looking for that sweet spot in you, okay? And we're going it in a style. So you have this song in you that you know each and every word. As we're winding up our show today, me being your host today, You're my guest,
Yes.
So you're gonna sing this song word to word.
Can I play it?
Mdomo. No, you're not playing it. Unatukulia mdomo, unatuambia zako. At least hata tupate tunakuosha wapi bana. We're going. What song do you love most?
Okay, it's by Jonathan Nelson. I believe that's his name. It's called I Believe.
I Believe.
Yes.
It's 3.
No,
see, unatuambia maneno we
can nini beats at least the background.
See, you still have it in your brains.
Yeah.
And then
See, I told you it has a lot of Jehovah, you I trust in you. Oh Lord, Jehovah, you I trust in you. I believe you are the God of miracles. You are the God of wonder. You are the God of mighty. I believe. I believe. I believe. I believe.
Hold. Hey.
Gosh, I've got
maybe
a terrible voice.
You singing that way because maybe you sing it internally, like unaimba kimoyo moyo. Na wewe una feel venye unachoma, sauti inachoma.
It's not usually that
we'll
bad
allow
when I'm singing
you
in the
today.
showers.
We'll allow you to give an excuse for today. We're thanking you so much for your answers that you've given us, some knowledge that you've equipped us with. So at least sijakubuli sana. At least we have had some concept in here. At least now we can relate you somewhere. We're thanking you for being our guest today. So we're on to looking forward to meeting you some other particular day. As a surprise. So keep waiting. You there?
You know, I didn't realize.
Yes.
That maybe this is what I do. Do I put people on the hot seat like you have done to me?
With a lot of pressure.
I've
given you a lot of peace. I've given you a lot of peace. Like umekaa tu pale umerelax, like unajibu tu pole pole. Sijakuwa nikikukat short. You getting? But it has been a good one for you. I'd rather appreciate the answers at least. Wow. So there is someone behind the cameras like, okay, some support staff is learning something new today.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I mean, for me,
especially for the financial supporting Sonko.
Wacha nikwambie for the financial supporting uongee na nani. Sitasema jina yake yote, lakini unajua jamaa anaitwa Mike.
The Mike we know about.
Huyo Mike.
Ule.
Mtafute huyo.
Ala.
Huyo sasa ndio Sonko.
Sawa.
Yes.
We got it. So we are winding up our show today.
All right.
So you come. Getting back to you.
Okay, back to me. Well, Meshach, wow, that was very interesting. I loved the questions. I love the trail of thought. I love your thinking. I can see you're definitely very talented.
Thank you.
I don't know why you keep saying you're upcoming. You're not upcoming or young. You're not. This guy is very talented. I mean, you heard him, right? You heard him. So I appreciate you taking the time to want to know about me. Actually, some of the things that I've shared with you, possibly I've never shared with even maybe some of my closest friends.
Yeah.
I'm sure even some of my family members would be like, oh, really?
Funny.
Alikuwa Makanga.
Like, alikuwa in the squad.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah.
And I also appreciate you for listening to us. I have definitely been put on the hot seat. I will be back if I am persuaded, maybe in one way or another, if I'm paid. But it's been very interesting. It's been exciting being here on Afri+CAN. Remember to follow us, subscribe to our YouTube page, go to the website, get more information about who we are, what we do, what we would like to do, and also just share the videos. If you found this conversation interesting, be my guest. Go ahead and share. If I'm able to change somebody's life in one way or another, of course, in a positive way, then I would really appreciate if you would do that. So you've been on Afri+CAN podcast. We're here every Sunday live at 3 p.m. So make sure you don't miss out next Sunday and every other Sunday. Signing off is Meshach Mwendwa, right?
Definitely.
Aha, right. I got it. Na ya tatu ilikuwa nini? There was another M. Mwangangi. There you go. From Meshach and myself, Wangeci Murage, it's been a pleasure having you here, and see you next time on Afri+CAN. Bye-bye.